Call the meeting to order.
You good?
And I'm going to ask for everyone to individually say the flag salute so we don't get a bunch of feedback. So at this time, we'll start the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Okay.
Public meeting secretary.
Thank you. This meeting was called pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act. This meeting of August 24th, 2020 was sent to the Central Record, Burlington County Times, and Courier Post, posted on the bulletin board in Town Hall, and has remained continuously posted as required notices under statute. In addition, a copy of this notice is and has been available to the public and is on file in the office of the municipal clerk. And we have roll call. Mr. Barton?
Present.
Ms. McGinnis?
Here.
Mr. Moore?
Present.
Mr. Sunbury? Mayor Brown?
Here. At this time, I'm going to open the floor for public comment. When you come forward, please state your name and address for the record. You will have 3 minutes to state your questions or comments.
You did.
Mayor?
Is there any public comment?
Maybe you want to try it and just check it out, see if it's working.
Mayor?
Yes.
Hey, this is Fran Brooks. We don't have any comments, just so you know, but we can hear you at this point.
Much.
Sure.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Muted.
Is there any other public comment from anybody? Okay, at this time, I'm going to ask for a motion to approve the bills. Again, if you're making the motion, please say your name so we can get it good for the record and everyone knows. Can I have a motion to pay the bills?
Nancy McGinnis, I make a motion.
Thank you.
Second.
Who's that, Joe?
Joe Barton, second, yes.
Thank you, Joe. Any questions or comments from committee? Roll call, please.
Mr. Barton?
Yes.
Ms. McGinnis?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mayor Brown?
Yes. Can I have a motion to approve the July 27th, 2020 regular and executive session minutes, please?
Joe Barton, so moved.
Thank you, Joe.
I'll second. Nancy McGinnis.
Thank you, Nancy. Questions or comments? Roll call.
Mr. Barton?
Yes.
Ms. McGinnis?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Abstain.
Mayor Brown?
Yes. Can I have a motion to approve resolution 2020-82?
Mayor, I'm sorry, Mayor, members of the committee, I would like to request that this resolution be tabled until next month.
Okay, can I have a motion?
I'm waiting on paperwork.
All right, thank you. Can I have a motion to table?
Joe Barton, motion to table.
Thank you.
Sam Moore, second.
Thank you.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion carries.
Resolution 2020-83, authorizing performance guarantee reduction number 2 pursuant to the township's revised ordinance, the Grand at Tabernacle, section 2. Could I have a motion, please?
Joe Barton makes the motion, but I would like if it's second for Mr. Dudley to review this.
Sam Moore, second.
All right, thank you. Dan, could you go over this, please?
Sure. This is for the Grand, the house development, you'll make sand and gravel on Metro Lakes Road. This is section 2, and it's the second bond reduction. The original amount of the bond was roughly $725,000. There's still almost $300,000, $294,000 left in work. So this reduction would be to that amount of the work that's remaining outstanding. So basically, it's just part of the process. As significant amounts of work are complete, the developer is entitled to a reduction in the total bond amount. So this doesn't, relieve the developer of any responsibilities. There'll still be a maintenance bond on everything, and we'll still have almost $300,000 on this section in the event that the developer does not complete that portion of work.
Thank you. Does anyone have any more questions for Dan? Roll call, please.
Mr. Barton?
Yes.
Ms. McGinnis?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mayor Brown?
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries.
Thank you. Resolution 2020-84, authorizing the sale of surplus property no longer needed for public use on an online auction website. Could I have a motion, please?
Joe Barton makes the motion, but I do have a question of Mr. Kramer after a second.
Dan Moore, second.
Thank you. Doug, can you speak on this, please?
How ironic.
Doug?
Hey, now I'm here. What questions can I answer?
Okay, Doug, I only have one question. In your Exhibit A, item 11, which is the 2002 Premier 1800A chipper,
Yes.
I have a concern about liability with that chipper and the condition of it that it's been sold. And as you know, that's a very dangerous tool. And if someone was to be injured with that chipper in some way, would we have any liability at all?
There's no issues with the chipping portion of the machine. It is in good shape and current. The issue is with the motor, and it is expressly put in the advertisement as that's what's wrong with it, and it is sold as is and where is with all of our equipment. So no, there wouldn't be any additional liability.
Okay, thank you.
Does anyone else have any questions? Roll call, please.
Mr. Barton?
Yes.
Ms. McGinnis?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mayor Brown?
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carried.
Thank you. Resolution 2020-85, authorizing Finance Department to refund smoke alarm inspection permit fee. Can I have a motion, please?
Joe Barton makes the motion to refund the $50 fee.
Dan Moore, seconds.
Thank you. Any questions? Roll call, please.
Mr. Barton?
Yes.
Ms. McGinnis?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mayor Brown?
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries.
Thank you. At this time, I'm going to open the floor for public comment. If there's any public comment, I'll ask you to come forward and
Unmuted.
address for the record. Is there any public comment for the second public comment?
Yes, Mayor. Stuart Brooks is, do you have a timer on your end, or should I get my own?
No, give me 1 second.
Okay, I can easily
We're
get
just
my
having a
own.
little bit of technical difficulties
I
tonight,
understand,
but
I understand.
it's, what I want 1 second.
I'm good to go on my end if you want to proceed.
No, it's okay. I get
Okay.
this. I will have this. I
Okay, no
promise.
problem.
There you go.
No problem.
See that?
Yes, excellent. Okay. Stuart Brooks, Moores Meadow Road, regarding the January 22, 2019 meeting minutes and the TRS contract. The minutes say, quote, "I spoke about working out a great contract with the TRS." I mean, you know that's false. Joe Barton actually said it was a good contract. I said I'd give him the benefit of the doubt on that, but, quote, "It's very hard to accept his representations that it was a good process or that it's a good contract, but we'd see. Minutes are supposed to capture what was done. They're not for creative writing. For the record, I still think it's a bad contract made through a bad process, and 3 minutes isn't long enough for me to explain the reasons." Regarding rescue, having more certified and available rescue personnel benefits public safety greatly, but township policies impede that. My question is, what's the purpose of the requirement that TRS and only TRS provides rescue training to fire? Second, why is the county's rescue training unacceptable to Tabernacle when it's provided county-wide and we've adopted the county mutual aid contract? Third, I've heard that there's been a case in Tabernacle where fire responded to an accident and had the only piece of equipment on the scene, and it was told to stand down by a TRS officer until TRS equipment arrived. Some of you surely know about this or should. This situation is a tragedy waiting to happen. What's being done to correct it? Last, regarding the Dunkin' Donuts fire, we sent you all a letter on this subject, and I thank you, Nancy McGinnis, for responding. I'd like to know if you responded on your own, on your own account, so to speak, or if you're responding for the township. Okay. There's no question that the TFC1 post shows much greater cooperation and professionalism than the TRS post. Does the TRS post meet township standards for cooperation and professionalism? It's one question. Ms. McGinnis said that if they had a First Amendment right to say it, it was okay. That's bullshit. And I used that term, and I stopped short to show that the First Amendment isn't appropriate in all situations. It allows any statement that's not libel or slander, incites harm, etc. Emergency service providers work together in life-threatening situations. Their speech should be professional enough that they protect each other's back, not stab each other's back. This is a contractual issue for you because you've contracted with them to be cooperative and professional. It's your management issue. You can set a professional standard, or you can continue to enable the churlish bickering and fighting that's been going on for years. And I'd also like to know who's responsible to look into situations like this one, where the actions of an emergency service provider seem to fall short of their contract and good judgment. Thank you. I look forward to hearing your answers.
Unmuted.
Is there any other public comment?
Yes. Okay. Fran Brooks, Moores Meadow Road. I'd like to know why, actually we'd like to know why Tabernacle paid $200 for Rodney Haynes, our part-time CFO, to attend a CFO webinar when Little Egg Harbor...
Stop for a moment, please.
Sure.
Mrs. Brooks. Mr. Freer, can you check and see what's going on with the...
If everyone would mute, it probably would help. Everyone go on mute.
Yeah.
While the public is talking.
What was that, Doug?
I'm going to have to say,
Okay.
You want to start over?
No, Doug's coming up.
Oh, okay.
I thought that's what he said.
Yeah.
Did
Kim,
Doug-
could you ask them to start from the beginning so we
Yeah,
can
yeah.
clearly understand them and everybody on mute?
Yeah, everyone's on mute now, and the feedback is going down. So Mrs. Brooks, I'm going to ask you to start over again, as you can see, I did restart the time.
What do you think that was due to? Maybe I'm not close enough to the microphone?
no, you should be fine.
Oh, you're good now, I'm not getting any
Okay.
feedback.
Yeah, I think the
It may have
problem
been
was
a
with that
free-
everybody wasn't on mute.
Okay.
That mute is important. Okay, Fran
Good.
Brooks, 78 Moores Meadow Road. My first question concerns, why did Tabernacle Township pay $200 for Rodney Haynes, our part-time CFO, to attend a CFO webinar, when Little Egg Harbor Township, his full-time employer, is required by contract to pay for his CFO training seminars and classes? Is he going to reimburse Tabernacle taxpayers for that $200, since it should have been fully covered by Little Egg Harbor Township? And two, are you going to revise the training policies for part-time employees? Another question is, at the last meeting, Ms. McGinnis said she spoke with DCA and was told it was okay to call, quote unquote, around the horn to other committee members to discuss township business. Mr. Lang said he would call DCA for clarification. Mr. Lang, are you going to advise the committee and report your findings in public tonight or even at the next meeting or thereafter? Thanks a lot, and that's all I have for tonight.
Thank you.
Last question, because
Oh,
it's not-
Stuart has another question.
You have to ask it.
Oh, well, but I'll ask his question.
You did.
Who's responsible to look into situations like the management?
You did.
She unmuted us. That's okay. We'll ask it again. There'll be plenty of time.
You did.
Okay. Oh, it's just something weird went on. Let it go. It's okay.
Okay, move on to engineers report. Dan?
Thank you, Mayor. Just a couple updates. Oak Shade Road, phase 1 paving, the project was awarded to Arawak Paving. We had a pre-construction meeting on Thursday, August 6th, and the schedule has them starting sometime at the beginning of September on that paving project. The 2020 road program, we've just been working with Earl Asphalt to complete the punch list items. And then finally, Oak Shade Road Phase 2, you may recall we received a grant from NJDOT for $243,000, and we're finalizing the plans and specs so that we can submit to DOT for approval to go out to bid on that project. That's all I had this evening.
All right, thank you. Does anyone have any questions for Dan from the committee?
Yeah, Kim, I do, and Sam.
Okay,
Can you hear me?
yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I missed the last meeting, I was unable to make it. What's the status of Carranza Road, with the grant? Are we just waiting? Cause I missed the last meeting, I'm not sure.
Yep, we're still waiting. We're waiting for DOT to make their determination, their approvals of the grants for this funding cycle. I would anticipate sometime early this fall, probably before the November elections, that we would hear something, but there's no guarantee and there's no set time frame.
Oh, okay, thank you, Dan. I appreciate that. Thank you. That's all.
All right, thank you. Anyone else have any questions for Dan?
We're going to open that request.
Okay, emergency management is not here. Doug Kramer.
Okay, first thing to let you know that we've started going around the town and chipping the brush that's out from the two storms. There's a fair amount of it out. We hope to be working through, we'll probably be working through all the way to the scheduled brush collection starting the 27th of September. And once that starts, we'll start back in the first section and work our way through again. Also, we've received our census signs, and to let you know that we will be putting them up on municipal property around the township to encourage people to fill out the census. And that's all I have.
All right, thank you. Anyone from the committee have any questions for Doug?
I just wanted to say thank you to Doug and the crew for cleaning up the signs that were had leaves and branches overgrown on them. Looks great, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
And Doug, this is Sam. Great job to you and the crew for the storm cleanup. You guys were on the move, no doubt about it. Any road I went down, there was public works there, so very proud of all of you.
I will pass that on, thank you.
And Doug, this is Joe. So I wanted to thank you. I acted as a liaison with Lake City Electric, and by you surveying this town with public works and identifying all the trees, poles, and wires down while safely avoiding them, and being able to report it to Lake City Electric, we had crews in Tabernacle the second and third day of the storm. While some people weren't restored till the fourth, they were active here. And I will tell you, I looked at their outage map during the storm, and they are in 8 counties. They had outages from Cape May County all the way to Burlington County in Tabernacle. And as you know, we are their northernmost town, and they did respond, and they did have crews here. And by you going out and identifying those areas, it actually expedited and restored power to our residents quicker. So I thank you for that, your public works.
Oh, you're welcome. I will pass that on to the crew also.
Yeah, and tell them we appreciate that they do that. They serve 2 purposes. Number 1, they clear the roads where possible. And number 2, they identify where they can't clear the roads because there are wires down, whether they're Verizon, Comcast. And as you know, Doug, one of the intersections was Zimmerman Road and Route 532. In the summertime, that is a store route. And the way around that blockage to that road is pretty tremendous. You basically have to go all the way out to Route 70 to get around that. And Atlantic Electric, because you brought that to their attention, did get that road cleared that night. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Peter?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. I didn't have any agenda items, but I look forward to the workshop where we can hopefully list some new business and get along with matters as we become acclimated to our virtual existence. But I have nothing tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Committee, Joe?
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor, first thing I was to address was the August 20th, 2020 letter from the Brookses to yourself and the whole committee. I did see their email, and I had concerns about responding to it, especially in light of the fact that they had filed lawsuits at us for having Oprah meetings or meetings with a quorum outside of a public meeting. And I felt that replying to this email, because everyone was attached to it, and if you look at the history, the past 2 lawsuits had to do with a Carranza Memorial event that took place between one person that I conversed with, and it had to do with awarding an award for Whole Eucharist Church that I had one person that I discussed that with. Both of those were not public things, but this is a public thing. So I did not respond for that reason, but I did read their email, and I thank them for their email. In their email, they say that the TRS post shows a lack of cooperation and professionalism. For some reason, they took exception for their post, but I'm going to read their post. And when I read this post, having worked in the utility business for over 50 years, I have been privileged to how emergency responders usually respond, and they do it by a log. And this is what the TRS post says. At approximately 4 a.m., Tabernacle Rescue Squad was dispatched as part of Task Force 43 for a building fire in the township. Chief 4390, Rehab 4398, and ambulances 4391, 92, and 94 responded to provide rehab and medical coverage while numerous mutual aid companies extinguished the fire. So they were not the primary on this. This was a fire. They were just supported, and on their post, they logged what they did. I do not see how that is uncooperative or unprofessional. To the credit of Chief Kennard, yes, after the fact, he did post a big, long thank you to everyone that was involved. So I'm not sure what this is all about. I don't do social media. I don't go on social media, mostly for these type of reasons. So I just wanted to put my comments forth and help the public understand why I did not respond to this letter or won't respond to letters in the future that are addressed to the whole committee. Other than that, Mayor, you already heard me talk to Doug about our gratitude with the Atlantic Electric outage. Because of those outages, the electric utility industry is evolving. And Atlantic Electric, like other utilities who have already received this not grant, but the ability to build this into the rates to the ratepayers, they are having a filing with the New Jersey Board of Public Utilities. So the electric and gas and water companies and all other utilities, cable included, in the state of New Jersey are regulated by the New Jersey State Board of Public Utilities. And anything that they would build into rates that is outside of their title at this time, they have to make a filing. So Atlantic Electric is filing for what they call smart energy networks. And I think this is a good thing. The smart energy networks and also smart meters that they're putting this filing into the Board of Public Utilities will allow them to know where the outages are when they happen. It'll also give them smart information on what's going on the circuit. As an example, during this past storm, as I rode around town, after Doug had provided me a list of where the wires were down, having worked in the utility industry my whole life, I basically did what they call lookup and was able to identify what some of those major problems were. And that was communicated to Atlantic Electric. These smart circuits will not provide 100% of the information, but will provide a lot of information electronically back to the utility so that they can analyze the storm and restore the power quicker and sooner. What I'm going to ask this committee right now, I already drafted a letter, but I would ask the committee to endorse this letter to a resolution to the New Jersey Board of Public Utilities, and I'm going to read it. It's only 4 paragraphs. Last week's tropical storm Isis served as a reminder of how a storm can strike and cause a significant amount of damage to communities in southern New Jersey. My name is Joseph Barton. I'm the Deputy Mayor of Tabernacle Township in Burlington County. I have over 50 years of electric and gas utility work experience. A modern energy grid is critical to manage the evolving needs of today's society. Atlantic City Electric is proposing to build a smart energy network across South Jersey, including installing smart meters and upgrading the local energy grid with specialized network working equipment. I know firsthand how important these upgrades will be enhancing the distribution system, reliability, and resiliency. I am writing in support of Atlantic City Electric's filing for the company's Smart Energy Network program, which outlines investment in smart meters and technology to provide safe and reliable service for their customers. As energy needs continue to evolve, a modern energy network will help customers connect to a common platform as well as enable access to smart technology, new energy services, and more choices. Investments in technology are critical in helping to keep the lights on. More frequent and stronger weather events are now a more common occurrence. I asked the New Jersey Board of Public Utilities to consider Atlantic City Electric's Smart Energy Network AMI petition as this critical component for creating and enabling a smarter and more reliable electric distribution and transmission. That is the end of the letter, but I just wanted to also share that being in the Pinelands and being a wooded community, Atlantic Electric does a lot of tree trimming, and they do cut back. But in storms like this, in this case in Isaiah, we had more outages probably than we had in Sandy, because in Sandy, Atlantic Electric had already cut that June on their 4-year cycle. They cut every 4 years. So there were not as many tree damages. And Doug will tell you, most of the damage that was caused by Isaiah was tree damage, and it was from the wind. The trees come down and bring the wires down. So being the northernmost town of their territory and being a wooded area, we are susceptible to outages. And fortunately, they don't ignore it. They treat us fair, and they're here when we need them. So I'm going to ask the board and to adopt a resolution in conjunction with this letter supporting their Smart Energy Network program. And if the board, if the committee agrees, I would ask that we draft this and get it signed and get it to the Board of Public Utilities as soon as possible. That's all I have there.
Thanks, Joe.
So if someone wants to make a motion, I don't want to make that one.
Do you want to make the motion, Joe?
I would prefer another committee person make the motion.
All right, would someone like to make a motion for what Joe is suggesting?
Nancy McGinnis, I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Nancy. Is there a second?
Sam Moore, I'll second.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Thank you. Mr. Barton?
Yes.
Ms. McGinnis?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mayor Brown?
Yes. Thank you.
That's all I have there. Thank you. And everyone have a nice evening and enjoy the rest of your summer.
Thank you, you too. Don't forget workshop on the 14th. Don't forget that. Nancy, your turn.
Hi, everybody. I have three things I'd like to bring up tonight. We'll talk about maybe next the workshop meeting. We can discuss them further and figure out, yes or no to these different things. First thing is opening up the township once a month on a Saturday morning so that residents can access the recycling center and maybe opening up some of the offices for the residents. That's number one. Number two is how about having workshop meetings every month so that we can discuss things in more detail and have more time to discuss different things. And then the third thing I want to speak about was I've been in contact with Stephen Gowen, who represents CEP Renewables. This company buys landfills and cleans them up or caps them off and purchases them from townships to build grid-scale solar plants in New Jersey. This company is interested in buying the old landfill on Old Indian Mills Road, capping it off, and building a solar plant there. Tabernacle will benefit greatly because they will purchase the property and be paying taxes on that. So that's the third item that I'd like to discuss more at the next meeting. I'll have more information about it at that point. And lastly, I just want to tell Stuart Brooks that I responded on my own with that letter, just myself. And that's it. Have a good night, everybody.
Thanks, Nancy. LaShawn, please add all these to the agenda for next month.
Yes, Mayor.
Thank you.
I'm
Sam?
sorry, can I say one more thing?
Absolutely.
I just wanted to know if maybe Joe Barton would be interested in forming a subcommittee with myself because of his extensive background in PSD&G. As far as the solar plant purchasing, the company purchasing that, and let's work in on that project.
We can address that at the workshop meeting.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Sam?
Yes, the only thing I'd like to add, I'd like to just echo on what Mr. Barton said with the Facebook post that's been, talked about a little bit by Mr. and Mrs. Brooks. My opinion on this, I think, like Joe said, it was very appropriate in the way, they explained their job, but I think the way I remember it through the past meetings, and somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, I think it was, the debate was the fire company was not mentioned, but Task Force 43 is part, the fire company and the rescue squad together as a Task Force 43. So they are just as much as well part of the post in my eyes when it comes to that. And just before the firehouse going south on 206, there's a big sign there with a fire truck on it that says Task Force 43 right on it. So that's my 2 cents on it, and that's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you, Sam. Well, to follow up on that was you basically took the part of the comments I was going to make. I was not going to reply to that email because it was copied on the whole committee and waiting for tonight to respond to it, of which I was going to make the same remarks as far as Task Force 43 is made up of the fire company and the squad as it has been for years. So although they may not have been mentioned directly as Tabernacle Fire Company #1, Task Force 43, as I've known it in my tenure on committee has been the fire company and the squad. So, based on the information that was provided to us, the fire company, although indirectly, was mentioned. And I also want to thank Public Works for all the work that was done and all of the first responders, because I know the fire company was out cutting up trees and I know the squad was out doing stuff too. So I want to thank everybody for putting their best foot forward and really helping everyone in the township, because that was quite a storm that came through and caused a lot of damage. So I want to thank everybody that did help out, because there was quite a bit of outages around the town. So with nothing else, I'm going to ask for a motion to adjourn and remind everyone that we do have a workshop meeting on September 14th.
Sam Moore, I will make the motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Yes, McGinnis, I second, and I thank the fire company and the emergency squad and everyone in the township that worked so hard also. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Could I have a roll call, please?
Mr. Barton?
Yes.
Ms. McGinnis?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mayor Brown?
Thank you. Yes. Thank you. Meeting's adjourned.
All righty.
Do you have the case? I guess I have. Okay. Ah, thanks. Everything is all there. Okay. You want to give me those? Can you give me that? Yeah, great.
Worked like a charm, though.
There you go. Ah, thank you.
You're welcome. Took us a while, but we got there.
Yes.